All right, welcome back. Summer signing series, Reading Royals. Mark Thompson, team broadcaster, here with head coach Larry Courville, announcing what is the 18th player under contract with the Royals this year. The forward Ian Waters, who we saw a little bit last year, coach, but not nearly enough. Only 7 games with the Royals last year. Suffered a season-ending injury with the Royals in Kalamazoo in just his 7th game with the team.
Yeah, it was a tough year for him. Like you said, he didn't play all that much to start the season with us. Got the big injury. You know, he came into a situation last year where he knew he had to fight to win a job, and he came in and did that for us. You know, the previous season he had started in Orlando, was cut out of training camp. Idaho picked him up. You know, did pretty well for them, and then. I had the opportunity to sign him last year. Unfortunately, he was injured. He played for an old coach of mine that I respect a lot, Stan Butler in the OHL, and he, talking to Stan and him referring Ian, he was a guy that I wanted to bring in and see what he can do for us, and Ian wanted another opportunity this year. He enjoyed the small part of the season that he played for us, but he was here all year. He did his rehab here. He was still involved with the players, and he was a good kid and worked very hard. So he wanted an opportunity to come back and prove himself again, and we'll see what happens.
Well, you could tell at the moment that it happened, it was a nasty injury in Kalamazoo, lower body. It was a situation was just unfortunate. It looked like to me, took a guy out, and the guy unfortunately just kind of fell on his leg in kind of an awkward angle. We had seen already some really good things out of Ian Waters, and he was just beginning the process, I thought, of beginning to feel comfortable with the team. It was just an unfortunate incident at a terrible moment for him.
It definitely was. Like, we used him more as a third line guy that would be good defensively for us, hopefully score the odd goal. He had a great shot from what I saw, and what I told him, he's missed basically a whole year, that his conditioning has to be very good. He has to work extremely hard this summer to get himself in playing shape and come in better shape than he was last year. And I think that's kind of been his knock throughout the professional is, he's a heavier set kind of guy, and he has some ability. He's a guy that can maybe jump into an offensive role, given that opportunity, and with more confidence and having more experience in our level. He can do good things, but it's going to hurt him missing a full year, and hopefully he comes in great shape and gives himself the best chance here.
You mentioned it. He did do his rehab here in Reading last season after he sustained the injury, and sometimes you watch a guy and you're like, how is he going to respond under this? Because everybody pretty much knew when the incident occurred and after the initial evaluation that it was going to be season ending. And some guys are going to check out at that moment, and you're probably never going to see him again, or whatever you do see out of him is going to be somewhat lackluster. But I watched him in the locker room and the gym quite a bit. This kid was dedicated, and I think that's why he's back at all, is because of the effort that he put in last year.
For sure. It's hard to bring a guy back who, has only played 7 games and, basically didn't play all year, and a lot of times when you miss the full year, coming back the following year, you're not in the best shape. You're the hockey sense, or just to get back into the game, it takes a little bit of time. But he works so hard with his rehab, and being a good team guy within our locker room, being here all year, and wanting to be involved and still be involved with the team, shows his character, what type of person he is. So I wanted to give him the opportunity to come back and prove himself again, and hopefully things will work out for him.
You never know how a guy's going to go, and one of the elements you're always looking at young players is that when they first join you, is there's kind of like this flash in the pan moment, and then all of a sudden the flash occurs and they kind of burn out over time. I thought I saw the exact opposite out of Ian Waters. I mentioned earlier, it looked to me in that game that he was injured, he was just beginning to gain his comfort zone. As a matter of fact, I thought he didn't look quite as comfortable in the early couple of games, and he was one of the guys you could almost see that the arc was headed in the right direction. Rather than having the big moment to start and kind of teetering off, he was going in the other way, from what I observed.
Well, and that's with my previous experience with some of the junior kids who play in the O, and I haven't had a whole lot of them, but it usually takes them a little more time to adjust. They're playing against older guys. They're coming in at 21 years old, and it was only his second year. He kind of bounced around, his first year. So it usually takes them until maybe about Christmas time that they start feeling comfortable and get to know the league and the players, and also get to know your teammates. You're coming in, you're one of the younger guys here, and sometimes it's they just don't feel as comfortable because they're not maybe in the mix of the groups and stuff like that, because he's one of the younger guys and he hasn't spent some time here in the past. So, but you want those guys to be better. It's from game in and game out, to try to see some improvement. So by the end of the year, you know, they're very valuable, and you can't take them on the lineup. And we're hoping that Ian can do that again this year for us.
Kind of an interesting contrast with what you might have seen out of college guys. Of course, college guys sometimes go to prep school, and then they play in college. And of course, there's the CIS route where the guys go on and come into their 26. But college guys do get a year or two extra to mature into the process, and do come a little bit older ordinarily than the guys coming straight out of the O.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, I've kind of stayed to most of my recruiters come out of the college routes. But the thing you're concerned about the college guys, they don't play those 72 games or those 80 game schedules. So you're worried that, you know, with them only playing 30 to 40 games, are they going to be able to, you know, be consistent for those 72 games plus playoffs, right? So, and then you see guys kind of, you know, start off great and then have a kind of a little bit of a lag and then come back again stronger. So, but you know, I've always had some success with more of the older guys who come out of college who are a little more mature, a little more stronger. But there's definitely some very good players coming out of the junior routes in Canada. But you know, so far for me, it's worked out with the college guys.
All right, the 18th signing for the Reading Royals, a familiar face, Ian Waters, only played 7 games with us last year. Looked like he was headed in the right direction until a season-ending injury took him out. He's out of the great city of Pickering, Ontario, who's produced so many great hockey players. Ian Waters back with the Royals. Coach, I want to thank you again for the summer signing series.
Thanks, Mark.
And thank you, fans, for watching.